Welcome to the beautiful Athens, Ohio for some maybe not so beautiful weather, but we've got some beautiful baseball on tap today. It is the Ohio Bobcats taking on the Central Michigan Chippewas in Game 2 of this three-game set here inside Bob Wren Stadium. I'm Ethan Sargent. Be joined by Sam Hyman shortly as we've got some snow flurries in Athens, Ohio today. It is a chilly one. Near freezing temperatures here in Athens as we warm up, and that'll give me the chance to bring in Sam Hyman. Sam, on short notice, you're in today. How are we feeling?
Well, I'm feeling good. I know the guys out there today are going to have to get warmed up a bit before we get this thing rolling, but for Ohio, this is a great opportunity after losing the first game of this series to respond. And responding so far has been the story very early in MAC play. You go back to their MAC opener, they lost to Bowling Green and then come back and win both games in the doubleheader. So this is a team that certainly plays with a chip on its shoulder when it goes down early, and I expect Ohio to respond. Again, this is a much different team than Central Michigan, one of the top teams in the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, chip on their shoulder. They're going against chips today. It is the Central Michigan Chippewas who will get us underway here in Athens. Justin Simpson will lead things off for the Chippewas, and we start off with a strike from Mitchell Hemmon, the pitcher today for the Bobcats.
Yeah, junior college transfer. Hemmon was pretty solid in limited work last week.
The Bobcats took the loss yesterday 8-5. Just got behind early. A 5-run third did the business for CMU, and the Bobcats, while getting into it, never really got back into it. And that'll be a fly out over into the glove of A.J. Roush for the first out of the game.
Great job. Good start for Mitchell Hemmon. I mentioned earlier his last start came against Bowling Green. The team won the game 11-3. He only lasted 4 innings and gave up 3 runs. 2 of them were earned, but he struggled in the first inning. He allowed 2 singles with the first 2 batters he faced. Here he gets the first out of the game. That's very important to build confidence.
Yeah, exactly. Just being a pitcher, the biggest thing is confidence in the ebb and flow of a game. And nothing like getting that first out, and why not add a couple of strikes to it here as he quickly jumps ahead of Jacob Donahue. 0-2 the count to the center fielder. And he strikes him out. A bit of emotion from the Ohio dugout. After yesterday, we saw a lot of emotion out of the Central Michigan dugout throughout most of that game. And now the Ohio dugout is active today with a loud cheer of approval after that strikeout. First of the day for Hemmon.
Yeah, that was one thing that Alec Patino told me last week after losing the first game to Bowling Green, as this pitch is in there for a strike. He said that was kind of a wake-up call. We got guys from the other team cheering on our field. We want to make sure we respond and defend our home turf, if you will, and stadium. And they did that by taking the doubleheader last week, winning the series against the Falcons. And here Ohio is very energetic to start this game.
Yeah, quickly jumped ahead once again, did Hemmon. 1-2 the count now to Marquise Jackson, who was 0 for 2 yesterday, but got on base 3 times. 2 walks and a hit by pitch. And he'll do it again. So I think the scoreboard may have been wrong out in left center. They gave him 2 strikes quickly, but I think one of those was a ball. So they switched it up, and he takes a walk. So for the second straight day, Jackson starts things off for Central Michigan, and that'll bring up Garrett Navarra, who was the danger man yesterday for the Chippewas. He had a triple and a 3-run blast in that 5-run third that I mentioned earlier that really set things going. Takes a strike there from Hemmon, 0-1.
Yeah, for Central Michigan, really got off to a good start yesterday. Led 7-1 after 3 innings. Ohio didn't go away, though, later in that game and only lost by 3.
Yeah, they had a 4-run 6th, which was a big reason for that. And Will Sturek had a big 3-run shot to bring the Bobcats within 2, but they couldn't quite get past the Central Michigan pitching yesterday in the later innings of that game. That pitch is outside. 2-1, the count to Navarro.
One thing I'm noticing from Mitchell Hemmond out there on the mound, he's working very quickly, but since that walk, this at bat to Navarro, he slowed his pitch sequence down a little bit in between pitches.
There's a single ripped in a right center. This could be more than a single. It could be extra bases. Navarro is digging for second, and Marquise Jackson's going to come home. The play at the plate is in time. Great sequence from the Bobcats in the field, and it was Minzy applying the tag at home, and the Bobcats make a huge play in the top of the first to save a run. Whew. What a start to this game that was. Navarro with the double, but denied.
Yeah, that was nuts. We'll see if that translates to some juice offensively for Ohio when we come back.
Yeah, when we take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be the Bobcats at the plate. Roush, Kasperbauer, Minzy when we come back. And then Mason Minzy was able to make the play at the plate. So a beautiful sequence for the Bobcats to save a run.
Yeah, so it was, after looking at the live scoring, relay all the way to the plate, and a big moment early in this game for Ohio, because Central Michigan, remember, they were the aggressors yesterday. They jumped on Ohio, led 7-1 after 3 innings. That play right there, if this is a 1-2 run game, we'll look back at that moment and remember it.
You said it. That is exactly right. And now the Bobcats will have a chance to maybe be the aggressors here in the bottom of the first. It's A.J. Roush leading things off for the Bobcats. And he takes outside 1-1. That one is fouled off, and some looks at it from the Central Michigan defenders, but it'll fly out of play. Pitching today for Central Michigan is number 32, Keegan Batka. Give us the profile on him, Sam.
Yeah, Keegan Batka, he's making his 5th start of the season, a 5.23 ERA, and one of the things that we both noticed when looking at some of his numbers, he's gone six innings in each of his last 2 outings. So in his first season with Central Michigan, looking pretty comfortable out there.
Full count to Roush here, an early battle, 3-2. Roush yesterday had a single and scored a run. And he'll rip one into right field, and it'll be caught by Navarra. Nice catch. Good adjustment in air from Garrett Navarra. Nice piece of hitting from Roush, but it doesn't quite drop for him. And that'll be the first out of the day for the Chippewas.
Yeah, really tough play there from Garrett Navarra. The wind is playing tricks on everybody today. Winds are right around 15 miles an hour, but the trajectory of that baseball and the way that Navarra took his route to get it was probably not the route he would take 9 times out of 10, but because he got turned around and it was very windy, he had to do all he could to get to that baseball.
That'll bring up Colin Kasperbauer, the third baseman for the Bobcats. He fouls the first pitch he sees back, 0-1. Yeah, you said it on that last one where you saw the flight of the ball almost curve, as that was kind of the way that it was hit, as that one's in there for a strike, 0-2 to Kasperbauer. But Navarre did a good job of adjusting to it in the air and was able to make the play.
That's
and Kasperbauer just about holds up there.
I was just going to say, Ethan, that's a tough pitch to lay off, and you can see Craig Moore clapping his hands, Ohio's head coach, very pleased with his veteran number 2 hitter of being able to hold up there.
Not able to hold up that time, though. Great pitch in there from Batten. And that will be strike 3. First strikeout of the day, and quick 2 outs for the Bobcats. And that will bring up Mason Minzy. He brought the power in the first inning yesterday after A.J. Roush walked. Colin Kasperbauer struck out in the first inning as he did today. Mason Minzy ripped a double into right center field to put the Bobcats on the board early in that game. Now, this one, first pitch is fouled back behind us to the left side. 0-1. An ask, and once again, the Bobcat hitter is able to hold up. Some good discipline being shown so far.
Yeah, one of the things that A.J. Roush told me about a week and a half ago is, I'm having success this season because I'm having competitive at-bats. Doesn't mean that the result at the end is always great, but he's fighting in there, and that's something that we've seen from other Ohio hitters this season. And Minzy right now having a battle with 2 strikes.
Yeah, you've seen it a couple times already where we've seen multiple of these at-bats where we've seen battles. We already saw full count earlier, and now Minzy looking to fight back from a 1-2 count. And he's able to stay alive, fight, and foul that one back. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. If you're just joining us, CMU put a 0 on the board. But it was not without incident. It was a big play at the plate. Marquise Jackson came around, and it was this guy who's at the plate now trying to do some offense on defense. It was Minzy who was able to stay alive. He takes one outside there, 2-2 the count. And Ohio had a quick 2 outs. Roush with a fly out to Garrett Navarra, and Colin Kasperbauer struck out, and that brings up the catcher, Mason Minzy. Here's the 2-2. High. 3-2 the count now. Man, we've talked about fighting at bats. This one might be the biggest fight of them all so far.
Yeah, Mason Minzy second on the team in walks with 11, right behind A.J. Roush, who's got 13.
He hits this one high and far into left field. And once again, the wind playing tricks on fielders. It's Robbie Morgan, the 4th out there. Minzy will slide into third for what will probably be scored an error, but he'll be on third base. Umpire's calling time. Craig Moore calling time. We just talked about the weather playing tricks, the wind playing tricks. I think Robbie Morgan the fourth was fooled right there by the wind.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, Ethan, and I see a 1 on the scoreboard for Ohio when it comes to the hit column. Like, that's a triple for Mason Minzy, because that was, the wind was playing tricks. Oh, no, it's going to be an error. Pardon me. So it's going to be, well, there's a hit on the scoreboard right now for Ohio. So we'll see if they change that. Definitely Minzy able to advance additional bases because of that error in the outfield.
It was heads-up base running by Mason Minzy because he saw the ball drop. He was digging in already. And by the time the ball dropped, he was already on third. Now this is a play to the shortstop, and it is just in time. Good play from Simpson, tossing it over to Cade Preston. And Central Michigan gets themselves out of an early jam. Both teams denying the other in the first inning as the snow really picks up here in the middle here as we go to the second. We are not without action here, and the snow is swirling in Athens, Ohio. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with second inning action here from Bob Brown Stadium. Back in Athens for second inning action. And those zeros on the scoreboard do not tell the full story of what was a dramatic first inning.
Yeah, it was quite the first inning. Both the top and the bottom half of the first inning as we remain scoreless. We've seen a ton of flurries as well.
Yeah.
The snow has been swirling out there. And, yeah, like you mentioned, in the top of the first inning, Ohio keeps it 0-0 with a play at the plate. Mason Minzy applied the tag to Marquise Jackson at home. And then in the bottom of the first inning, Minzy gets to third on a fielding error but unable to score in the bottom of the first. So something tells me this is going to be a nail-biter.
I agree. I think that we've got the potential ingredients for a classic here at Bob Wren Stadium. And it was this man who's at the plate who made that error in the field, Robbie Morgan the fourth. In the end, it went unpunished. This one is high in the air. Minzy's going to try to make a play, and he's able to. Just about stayed in play behind the netting, and Mason Minzy's able to make the catch.
Yeah, that's a really good job by Mason Minzy. One of the things as a catcher that you have to do as soon as the ball is hit in the air is discard that face mask, because then you're able to spot it, and then you're battling the wind. And that is so hard in this scenario. And for him to be able to look up and then look down at the net and figure out where he is to make that catch, that's very impressive from the veteran.
Yeah, today of all days, too. With all the wind, we've already seen the fielding error, and we've seen other fielding adjustments happen. The wind is going to play a factor today. We've already seen it. It is blowing out, so it may help a hitter at some point in this game, maybe sneak one out of the park. As Dardis now up to the plate. Nick Dardis, the opposing catcher for the Chippewas. He homered yesterday, had a 2-run shot in the third inning. Also had a single to go along 2-for-5 day. Has a question there for the home plate umpire, but no dice. 1-2 the count now with one out here. And now the sun's out.
I got nothing for you. I just moved here, so I can't explain it.
There is no place like Athens, Ohio. Hammond looked like he really wanted the strike 3 call on that pitch. It was just a little outside to the right-handed hitter. Here's the 2-2. That one is in there, painted the inside corner. And Mitchell Hammond has his second strikeout of the day, his second strikeout looking of the day on Nick Dardis.
Yeah, that's a great job by Mitchell Hammond. He's been painting the inner and outer portions of the zone so far in this game. One of the things that differs from his last start to this one is he is getting that first batter out. Got Justin Simpson out in the top of the first, got Robbie Morgan the fourth out in the top of the second, and that has set the tone for his rhythm out there on the mound.
Yeah, so far, Ohio's pitching and defense has set the tone, which was not the way things went yesterday. They were quickly behind, could never really get back into it. It's a different story today, as now it's Luke Sefcik quickly behind 0-2. And he'll get a base hit over the head of Finney. And he's going to dig for, nope, he's going to hold up. Probably the smart play there from Sefcik. I think he probably gets thrown out if he heads for 2, but he slows up. So a base hit in there for Luke Sefcik. Or Sefcik, excuse me.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there from Luke Sefcik out of the 7th spot. With 2 outs, too, to keep this inning alive.
And this is high in the air into left field. Back there is Antle, and he makes the play. So once again, a hit with 2 outs, but nothing doing for Hammond. He gets out of the jam, and he keeps the score at 0-0. We now go to the Bobcat bats in the bottom of the second. After knocking on the door in the first, can they push it over in the second? We'll be right back with the bottom of the second inning. Back in Athens, where maybe you clicked on our stream and you saw snow flurries and thought, oh boy, this game must be getting canceled, and now you've hopped back in and you see the sunshine and you're in disbelief. But that's how Athens, Ohio works, ladies and gentlemen, as we are playing baseball here in the cold and through whatever elements, Sam Hyman.
Yeah, I just looked at the hour-to-hour forecast, and it's unpredictable. But what we can tell you is we are still playing baseball, and what a game it's been so far. We're only in the bottom of the second inning, but so far this is shaping up to be a pitcher's duel between Keegan Batka and Mitchell Hammond, 2 guys that are working very quickly out there on the mound.
Yeah, it's Will Sturek up to the plate for the Bobcats, and he swings at that one, 2-1. It has been a pitcher's duel so far, certainly, but both teams have knocked on the door. Neither have been able to plate anything yet, and we remain deadlocked at 0. There's a strike looking to Sturek. Had a 3-run blast yesterday to bring the Bobcats within 2. They got it back to, it was 7-2, got it back to 7-5. unfortunately, for the Bobcats, they couldn't quite get back into that game. Ended up losing 8-5 yesterday. Sturek gets an that'll be a base hit over into right center field. He'll think about going for 2, and he'll hold up. Similar to the base hit in the bottom or the top of the inning from Sefcik, excuse me.
That's a great piece of hitting by Will Sturek. He took the pitch the opposite way. That was up and away in the outside part of the strike zone and went with the pitch. Great job, and that is the first time in this game either team has put the leadoff man aboard.
Yeah, well, that is something that you like to do. We talked yesterday when I was calling this game, I discussed how you want guys like A.J. Roush leading off because Roush has the highest on-base percentage of anybody on the Bobcats. So when you look at this team and how it works, when you get leadoff guys on, it typically means you're getting things as now you can do things like that. You can set up a bunt potentially for Gideon Antle.
Yeah, Gideon Antle, one of the fastest players on this team. Coach Moore told me at the beginning of the season he doesn't know anything different than 100%, even maybe 110%, you would say. He always is going at 100 miles an hour, and for him to bounce back after a little hamstring situation the first 3 games of the season, he's locked and loaded.
And he is certainly locked and loaded as he loads one into left field. That'll be another base hit for the Bobcats, and quickly 2 runners aboard. The first 2 runners rip singles off of Keegan Batten.
Ohio's liking that high cheddar, Ethan. We've seen twice now. Pitches upstairs, even not at the top of the strike zone, but north of the strike zone. Gideon Antle pulls that one into left field. Will Sturek popped it into right field. So something's cooking here for Ohio in the bottom of the order.
Yeah, it may be cold, but they're heating up on the diamond, that's for sure. Cole Williams now will step into the box, the left-handed hitter. Did not take the field yesterday. He's into the game today as the designated hitter.
Yeah, he's just 3 for 17 this season at the plate.
Looking to heat things up here and has an opportunity here to potentially plate some runs with some well-placed hitting. 2 very well-placed hits that we just saw from Sturek and Antle to the opposite sides of the field, one into right center, the other into left. And this one is high into center. It is far, and it is gone! 3-run blast for Cole Williams. And the Bobcats strike first, 3-0 as he rocks the baby around third.
Well, how about that first home run of the season for Cole Williams? We talked about it. He only had 3 hits coming into this game and 17 at-bats, and this is a young man who transferred from Marshall and puts one over the fence in dead center to give Ohio a 3-0 lead. You'll love to see that energy in the dugout there from the Bobcats to send a message early against the defending MAC tournament champions.
That will certainly send a message. There was an absolute bomb out to center field. He got all of it. It sounded great off the bat, but when you're looking at things out in center, you never know if things are going to drop, especially on a day like today, as that one is hit to the shortstop Simpson, and I don't think he got there in time. He did not get the throw there in time, and the Bobcats have another base runner aboard. Finney, who's playing second today after designated hitting yesterday, will get on base. Interesting to see if they score that as a hit. They will.
Yep, that's a great job by Alex Finney, not giving up as he's running up the baseline there. And now this will prompt a mound visit for Central Michigan.
Yeah, 4 straight hits will do that. 3-0 Bobcats. Craig Moore got to be liking what he's seeing out there after the bats went quiet yesterday. After the first inning, there was 5 straight innings where the Bobcats didn't even record a hit. They were shut down by Adam Rakic yesterday for a large portion of that game. But today it has been a different story after almost getting a run across in the first. They are all over things here, and it was Cole Williams, the designated hitter, with the home run.
Yeah, his first season with Ohio, transferred from Marshall. He's from Charlotte, the Queen City, out of Myers Park High School.
And here's a bunt laid down by Adams. Play is made at second, so it's a fielder's choice. Adams will reach at first base. Good play by the Chippewas in defense to stop the advancing runner, but once again, Ohio has another base runner. Finney will head to the dugout, but Adams will remain at first base.
Billy Adams has had a really good stretch over the last week and a half. His name was etched in that series to open MAC play against Bowling Green.
That one gets away from Dardis, and that'll allow Adams to scurry on over to second base. And still with just one out in this inning, the Bobcats are looking for more here. That was low and away. It was a tough one to corral. Would have been a really nice play if Dardis had been able to corral it, but it just got snuck under his right foot. And that'll allow Adams to take now a generous lead off of second base. It is Roush back up to the plate. He flew out to Navarra in his first at bat. Here's a nice off-speed pitch from Batka trying to reestablish. 1-2 the count to A.J. Roush. Central Michigan could really use this out. Roush fouls it back, stays alive. We stay at 1-2. The redshirt sophomore, A.J. Roush, from Powell, Ohio, went to Olentangy Liberty. Looking to help pad the Bobcat lead. And it's a good take from Roush there to stay alive. That was a good pitch. Tough one to lay off.
Yeah, you mentioned Olentangy Liberty, his high school coach, Coach Brenning. I asked A.J. about Coach Brenning as the 2-2 is swung on and missed for strike three. And A.J. Roush said, Coach Brenning did a great job developing players. We had 8 or 9 college guys my sophomore year when we won the state championship. He was actually not a starter on that team. He only appeared as a pinch runner that season, primarily, and also came off the bench, but he was a pinch runner in the state title game. That was one of his fond memories. Came around to score. Unfortunate to go down on strikes there.
Yeah, that's a memory you'll hold on to forever.
Oh, yeah.
Coming around and plating a run in a state title game to help your team win. So, good stuff there for A.J. Roush, who, as you said, did go around on the 2-2 pitch, so he'll be the second out of the inning. But now it'll bring up Colin Kasperbauer, who struck out on his first plate opportunity. And he'll quickly go behind 0-2 after fouling that one off.
Yeah, there was a stretch before the Bowling Green series. Kasperbauer was 0 for 9, but he went 4 for 14 in the Bowling Green series, and just trying to get his rhythm back after leading the league and hitting a season ago.
Just outside there, looking for the payoff pitch, was Batka. No dice. And Kasperbauer will stay alive after laying off 1-2. Went off speed, didn't get the corner once again, so we stay at 2-2 with 2 outs.
Great job by Kasperbauer to lay off that backdoor curve. We'll see what happens here in a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Here it is. Once again outside. We've talked about it a couple times already today, and it's happening again here where the Bobcats hitters are just fighting for their at-bats. They are not going down easy. Roush had a battle there that he lost. Bobcats have lost a fair couple battles, but they've won where they needed to win, and that's what being reflected on the scoreboard right now with the 3-0 lead. Here's the 3-2, and it is fouled off. by Casper Bauer. So we go again as the flurries once again pick up. We were sunny at the start of the inning, and now we are back to the flurries as we come to the close.
It is something else here today in Athens.
Get used to it. That's all I could say. It is nothing like it. Casper Bauer hits one high, and it looks like it'll go foul into the seats. It will. Oof, just missing our camera over there on the far side. That'll be a lucky break. Was probably a little too close for comfort to that camera over there. Well, luckily for us, the camera remains intact, and luckily for Ohio, the ball goes out of play. No play there for any of the infielders. So we go again. We reload. 3-2 with 2 outs. Runner still on second is Adams. Casper Bauer in the box. And he takes strike 3. Looked like he thought he had a walk. He was ready to toss that bat over. But they get, it's Baca who gets the call as strike 3. And that will do it. But the damage was done early in that inning for the Bobcats. It was Cole Williams with a 3-run blast to put the Bobcats on the board. 3-0. Central Michigan now looking to respond in the top of the third. We'll be back with more baseball action. Dogs are out in full force today in Athens. As what better weather for the Pooches to be out and about and probably sticking the tongues out for those snow flurries. Hopefully they're staying warm over there, having a good time. But
they are the warmest
they
out here. Warmer than anybody.
Yeah, they got those fur coats keeping them nice and warm. And the Ohio Bats are nice and warm right now after taking a 3-0 lead. And now they'll look to cool down the Bats of Central Michigan, keep them nice and cold as they have so far. Just the 1 hit as of yet, or excuse me, 2 hits for Central Michigan, and that is going to be a tough play for number 3. Even if the play was made over there by Adams, I think it would have been a really tough throw. But Adams can't quite get the ball in the glove. Well, should be a single, and it is a single for Mitchell.
Yeah, this will be an interesting situation here for Mitchell Hemmon as the lineup turns over back to the top of the order. Justin Simpson at the plate right now. What will Hemmon respond with here?
Yeah, we talked about how in the last inning that was the first leadoff runner that the Bobcats had. And now in this inning it's the first leadoff runner for Central Michigan. They had fly out from this guy, Justin Simpson, in the first to start things off, and then a fly out from Robbie Morgan in the second. So they'll look to do what the Bobcats did in the bottom of that second inning. Morgan, this could be a double play, and it is smooth as butter in the infield from the Bobcats. Finney to Adams, Adams to Patino, and they made that look easy.
Yeah, and that was easy. Why? Because it was such a hard hit ball to Alex Finney. He really didn't have to charge in. He waited patiently, and it came to him right away. Just what the doctor ordered for Mitchell Hemmon, who is now 1 out away from 3 scoreless in this start.
Classic 4-6-3 double play. You see it often. And it was executed to perfection by the Bobcats there. And now Donahue up to the plate.
This is a big game. I know it's early in MAC play, but this is a Central Michigan team that has won regular season and tournament titles in the MAC over the last handful of years. I mean, they have been one of the teams at the top of the Mid-American Conference since their head coach Jordan Bischel took over. Central Michigan's 143-57 since Coach Bischel took over this program as the head coach.
Yeah, dominance, as the 2-2 was just a little low and away, so we load the count for Donahue, who struck out looking in his first at bat. And that'll hit him. And I think if they do what they did yesterday, Jacob Donahue will take off. Speed over to first base. No. Looks like that got him right on the elbow pad. That was on the left elbow there. And that'll bring up the left-hander, Marquise Jackson, who almost came around to score but was denied by a beautiful relay in the field from the Bobcats. And that's high. A base runner, a 2-out base runner for Central Michigan is Donahue. And now Jackson will look to continue a 2-out rally. Potentially, he walked in his first at-bat. 2-0. That one was outside and away. And now Minzy is going to go have a quick discussion with Hemmon, excuse me. Just a quick strategy, quick go over things. Central Michigan 2 for 3 with 2 outs today. Going to look to try and continue that here. Haven't yet got a runner in scoring position, though. That's where they'll try to go here with Jackson. That one just a little high. And it is a 3-0 count to Marquise Jackson. Really interesting to see if he has the green light here on 3-0. He doesn't need it. It's a 4-pitch walk from Marquise Jackson. And for the first time all day, Central Michigan have a runner in scoring position. It is Donahue, and with Jackson over there at first base. And that will bring up the man who did the damage yesterday, Garrett Navarra, and now perhaps a slightly more intense discussion going on over in the infield between Hemmon and Tim Brown, headed out over there, the assistant coach.
Yeah, Tim Brown is new to the staff, first season with Ohio. He was an assistant coach at Eastern Illinois and worked primarily with the pitching staff before coming over to Athens and joining head coach Craig Moore. So he's got a solid background, does Coach Brown. Just another quick conversation, trying to calm Hemmon's nerves here. And this is a big moment.
Yeah, you got your cleanup hitter here, Garrett Navarra, coming to the plate. He's already doubled today. He had that double where that sparked that bang-bang play at the plate with him and Jackson and Minzy. And now Navarra had a 3-run shot yesterday and has an opportunity to do the same thing here. And that will be a base hit into left center. Around comes Donahue. He will score easily. Digging in for second is Navarra. And Central Michigan are on the board, 3-1 in the top of the third. Navarra liked the first pitch he saw and took it over the head. No shot at a play for Adams. And it'll be a 2-out double for Garrett Navarra, his second of the day. And that will bring up Robbie Morgan the fourth with 2 runners in scoring position now. And the Chippewas knocking on the door trying to tie this game up.
And now it becomes a mental game, too, for Mitchell Hemmon. He's got to regroup, reset out there on the mound. Ohio still has a 2-run advantage, and there are 2 outs.
That one is caught. Caught beautifully by Finney. And that saves probably a couple of runs as Alex Finney's able to come up with the catch And the Bobcats escape from that inning with minimal damage, but damage was done by the Chippewas. Garrett Navarra with a 2-out double to plate Jacob Donahue, and the Chippewas are on the board 3-1 here in the top or the middle of the third inning, and we will head to the bottom shortly here. It'll be for the Bobcats. We will see Minzy, Patino, and Sturek when we come back. Back in Athens now, and it'll be Ohio's turn to bat. It was a very successful bottom of the second, and they'll look to replicate that with the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. And we'll start off with Mason Minzy, who reached on an error. It was that play over in left field for Robbie Morgan. He'll take the first pitch he sees, and it'll be picked up by Sefcik, and he will make the play at first base. Nice piece of fielding by the second baseman.
Yeah, great job, especially throwing off balance and making that on target to the first baseman, Cade Preston. I do like Mason Minzy's approach. When I saw him last weekend against Bowling Green, very solid approach.
Yep.
And then here again today, great job to pounce on that first pitch. I know it was a ground out, but he hit the ball hard in a tough spot, as we see Alec Patino will trot on down to first with a hit by pitch. Tough customer.
Yeah, so both teams now have a hit by pitch. So that will bring up Will Sturek, who singled and scored a run on that homer in his first plate appearance. Right-hander finds himself in the box against Batka. And their first pitch is just a bit high, ball number 1. Here's the 1-0 from Batka. High, 2-0.
All right, now Ohio has a chance to extend its lead. A 2-run advantage right now. One thing that Craig Moore said at the beginning of the season that he felt was the team's strength, biggest strength, is the offense. And right now, offense and pitching and defense has done its job for the most part in this game.
Yeah, after 3 innings, it has certainly been a complete team effort. They've done what they needed to do on the field and at the plate. And that's why they lead this baseball game right now, trying to increase that lead. Big cut right there from Sturek.
Yeah, and especially after yesterday committing 3 errors defensively, that's something that is definitely a downfall for Ohio. And right now, you've seen great defensive plays. We saw a play at the plate in the first inning.
Yeah, we've seen some web gems today. Yes, absolutely. I mean, we saw that beautiful relay that you were saying. It was out there from Sturek, the man at the plate right now, was able to toss it to Finney, and then Finney with a nice throw right to Minzy, and Minzy was able to apply the tag. As once again, it's back just checking Patino, making sure he doesn't take off. Patino was caught stealing yesterday, so he may be a little bit more hesitant to take off today.
Before the Bowling Green series, Craig Moore said that his practices leading into that series, working on defense. He said he's a big believer in pitching and defense. That is what it takes to win a championship, and it worked in the past, Ohio winning a MAC championship in 2017. And it takes time, a tough non-conference schedule, travel, all that. And now we're settling into MAC play, and one day at a time. It seems like the defense is turning a corner.
Yeah, of course, as Sturek strikes out on a pitch that was outside the zone. Good pitch there from Batka. Ohio's next game, it will be at a conference on Tuesday. They have a one-off game against at Morehead State before they travel to Kent State for a 3-game series.
Of course, they wrap up this series tomorrow.
Yes, they will. Got to finish off this series with the Chippewas. Got to finish off this game today. It is by no means over. As Antle now at the plate, once again, Batka checks the runner.
A.J. Roush calls Gideon Antle a fiery competitor.
Antle will swing at that one. He was part of those back-to-back singles in the last inning that sparked that rally that got the Bobcats the 3 that they have on the board right now. He's down 0-1 here with 2 outs. That one is high. Umpire just switching the ball out real quick. And now Antle will step back into the box. Patino still over at first. Batka checks him. And now refocuses on the mound. The 1-1. Foul back. Gideon Antle, a licking Missouri product. The junior is having himself a nice season, leading a lot of the Bobcat charts in many of the hitting categories.
Yeah, on average, he's hitting .356. He hit safely in the first 7 games he played as a Bobcat after missing the first 3 games of the season due to a hamstring injury.
This one is high in the air. Looks like it's going to be playable, and it will be. Caught over there by Preston, the first baseman, and that will do it for the 3rd. So the Bobcats get a base runner on, but aren't able to do anything. They'll leave 1 man on base, and that'll bring up the Chippewas once again after getting their first run in the top of the 3rd. They'll head to the top of the 4th with the chance to do some more damage. We'll be back with more baseball action from Bob Wren Stadium. It'll be an opportunity for Mitchell Hemmond to reset the ship here as we are back in Athens in the 4th inning. We are in the top of the 4th. It is 3-1 Bobcats through 3 innings of play, each team with 4 hits apiece. 1 error for the Chippewas, none so far for the Bobcats. It's Nick Dardis up to the plate now for the Chippewas. You can hear that it's a vocal, not a massive crowd. It is a chilly day. The fans can be forgiven, but they are a vocal crowd. And we've heard them chirping and yelling and making their voices heard. It's a good atmosphere. even with the low numbers, it is still a very nice atmosphere for some mid-March baseball, as both teams look to get their MAC season started off on the right foot, as that one catches the inside corner, and Nick Dardis goes down swinging for the second, or goes down with a strikeout for the second time today, but not for the second time swinging. He struck out looking in his first at-bat.
Great job by Mitchell Hemmon. Nick Dardis, not an easy guy to get out,
No.
and to strike him out twice after he had a 2-run homer yesterday. Very impressive.
That is a pop fly on the first pitch, and it will be dealt with. That was Sefcik. And it was caught out there. I think Finney made the play all the way from second base. So a very quick 2 outs for the Bobcats here in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, his pitch count is, right now, he's only thrown 50 pitches.
Yeah, got to be happy about that if you're Craig Moore, seeing your pitcher with a low pitch count, as he's through 3 2/3 is Mitchell Hammond. 4 hits, just the 1 earned run so far. That one is driven high into center field, and it is gone. Cade Preston with the solo shot as he waves it goodbye. Pretty much the same exact spot where Cole Williams mashed his home run. That one will put another one on the board for the Chippewas. It is 3-2.
And that one definitely stings for Ohio. Mitchell Hemmon had not given up a home run this season on the mound. Still got the 1-run advantage, but that gives the Chippewas some life in the dugout.
That it does. Christian Mitchell now up to the plate. Cade Preston, an impressive show of power right there. As yesterday he struggled from the plate, flew out 3 times and had a walk. Today it is a different story.
Yeah, that was his first home run of the season.
Yeah, yesterday was his first start of the season, I believe. And getting his second start today.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He is making those moments pay off. And a first home run of the season will do nicely in his eyes and in coach's eyes. Maybe some more starts in his future potentially.
Well, he's the guy, Ethan, that is over at first base in place of the team's leader in RBIs, as that's a called strike 3, Danny Westenfeld. So he's definitely filled his shoes so far.
Yeah, Westenfeld, one of the Chip's best players. As Hemmon, gets the out, gets the strikeout there to end the inning, but not before they chip away once again. Central Michigan closing the deficit with a solo shot from Cade Preston, and we are cooking here in Athens. 3-2. Ohio will try to respond in the bottom of the fourth when we come back. We're jumping around in Athens with Cole Williams. He's had himself a day so far. He hit a 3-run solo shot in the bottom of the second inning. to help the Bobcats to their current lead 3-2. But since then, it's been 2 1s on the scoreboard for the Chippewas, chipping away at that deficit. And the Bobcats will need their bats to get going once again if they want to hold this lead at this rate. As that one was inside, 2-0 the count to Williams. Keegan Backa still going strong through 3 innings. That one is fouled back, 2-1. He's got 4 strikeouts. He's thrown 59 pitches through 3 innings. We just mentioned and discussed how Hemman has only thrown, might have thrown less pitches through 4 innings. As that one is high, playable in left center, but it's going to drop. Gets into that little Bermuda triangle of uncertainty between shortstop and left fielder. Simpson and Morgan, the fourth, couldn't sort it out back there. And that'll drop. I think they'll probably score that as a hit. And it's it's a solid day for Cole Williams.
Yeah, have a day, Cole Williams. Three-run homer back in the second, and a little bloop single. And going back to your point you made about Mitchell Hemman, he's only thrown 57 pitches through 4 innings. Ohio starter.
Yeah, so through just 3 innings, that was pitch number 64 right there for Keegan Backa.
And we can't emphasize it enough how critical this game is early in the MAC season for both of these teams.
And that one gets away from Dardis, and that'll allow Williams to jog on over to second base. He will get there. So now a runner in scoring position for Alex Finney, who singled in his first at-bat.
And looking at this Central Michigan team, we talked about it, obviously 2022 MAC tournament champs. They had a pretty rigorous start to the season in terms of travel. They went to Baylor, they went to UTRVG in Texas, St. Mary's in California.
There's a base hit over the third baseman. Around comes Williams. The ball is past Morgan, and that will alleviate the chance of there being any play at the plate. The Bobcats respond in kind after giving up a couple runs in the top of the third and the top of the fourth. They respond in the bottom of the fourth. I think it'll be interesting to see if they score that as a single with error or a double. They're going to score that as a double. So Alex Finney with an RBI double, and that will pad the Bobcats' lead 4-2. 6th hit of the day for the Cats.
How about the bottom of the order, the basement of the order doing work, job. Ethan? Yeah, you got Cole Williams with a pair of hits, Alex Finney with a pair of hits. Those are your 7 and 8 hole hitters.
That one is high in the air. It's in the infield. I'm looking to make the play as Sefcik, and he does. Second out of the inning, or excuse me, that's the first out of the inning for the Bobcats. And that'll bring up the top of the order once again. Here comes A.J. Roush for at-bat number 3. He's 0 for 2. Good pitch. A lot of movement on that ball as Roush watches it go by for strike 1.
Yeah, really hard curve there from Keegan Backa.
Yeah, looking to resettle things after giving up that run. And he'll do almost the same exact pitch right there, but this time put a little bit more mustard on it, threw it outside the zone. Roush chased it, 0-2. This one is hit softly, and it gets through the glove of Mitchell. Here comes the runner, Finney. Nope, he'll stay. He'll be held up by Craig Moore at third base. That will, however, allow A.J. Roush to get to second. So now the Bobcats are in business on the base paths once again. Finney over at third. And A.J. Roush will now be at second. They haven't determined whether or not that's going to be a hit. They do. It is a hit, and he will advance to second on the error. and Finney will advance to third. So it'll be a single for A.J. Roush with the error that'll take him to second base. And that will bring up Colin Kasperbauer with runners on second and third and the opportunity to really get this one open. Kasperbauer looks at the first pitch and takes it foul back into the netting right in front of us.
So Central Michigan has committed 2 errors in this series, or in this game, I should say, after Ohio committed 3 errors yesterday. It's been a bit of a struggle for the Chippewas, and the weather conditions certainly don't help, of course. But that was a pretty easy play, it looked like. Just bobbled the ball. Christian Mitchell over at third.
Yeah, just right off the glove. Just couldn't quite corral it. And that'll give the Bobcats a real opportunity. Kasperbauer down 0-2 here early in this at-bat. He'll swing at this one. There could be a play at the plate. There won't be. Mitchell will toss over to first. He'll get the out at first, but the Bobcats will play to run. So an RBI ground out for Colin Kasperbauer. That will bring home Alex Finney. And the Bobcats add another one here in the bottom of the fourth. It is 5-2.
That is an elite at-bat by Colin Kasperbauer. Elite with a capital E. Why is that? It wasn't the prettiest of hits. It was off the end of the bat, Ethan, but what it did do was drive a run in, and with 2 strikes, Kasperbauer behind in the count early, a veteran move, knew what he had to do, got a productive out, and gives Ohio a bit of insurance.
Productive is the right. Now Morgan is able to make the play this time. Once again, it seemed like the wind had its way with the ball in the air there, as Minzy was the one who lifted that hit out into left field. But Morgan was able to readjust that time and was able to make the play. So Central Michigan escapes without further damage, but damage was done. The Bobcats put up 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth, and they re-extend their lead out to 3 runs. It is 5-2 for Central Michigan. When we come back, it'll be Simpson, Donahue, and Jackson, the top of the order for the Chippewas. We have a pitching change here at Bob Wren Stadium for the Ohio Bobcats. It's Jacob Tate coming in. And let's break down Mitchell Hemmons' day, Sam Hyman.
Yeah, Mitchell Hemmon was very solid. He faced some adversity in his 4 innings of work, but his final line, 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 57 pitches, and 35 of them strikes. I will tell you, as this first pitch is a strike from the new pitcher, Jacob Tate, who we'll talk about in just a second, the biggest thing that impressed me about Mitchell Hemmon, his composure on the mound. He started off very quick, worked fast, in rhythm, in his rhythm, and did not let Central Michigan, when they had moments of potential sparks, did not let those sparks turn into flames, and he was able to put together a solid 4 frames.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with that is we've seen as that one hits the Central Michigan bullpen on the far side, we definitely saw him work his rhythm. We saw that he was able to settle in and find a rhythm. And while he didn't, he gave up the home run in the last inning. He gave up the single or the double to Navarro that played it a run in the third. We saw that he was able to settle back in both of those attempts and not let, as you said, that spark, not let the water that's dripping out of the pipe burst the pipe. He was able to keep things intact.
So you're going the water reference. I'm going the fire reference.
We switched up the reference. This brings in Jacob Tate, 6'6", a big man on the mound, 235-pounder. He's a redshirt junior, southpaw from Louisville, Tennessee.
Come on, you've been there all day, Coach.
How's he done on the mound so far when called upon this year?
Yeah, I mean, recently he's been pretty solid in limited action, as that one misses down and in for a ball. His last outing against Bowling Green, an inning and 2/3 of scoreless baseball, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, only allowed 1 hit. Look, Ohio's bullpen has been pretty darn good over the last 2 or 3 games.
And that'll be a walk. So he'll miss that one inside, it looked like. And Jacob Tate walks the first batter that he faces, and it was Simpson. Simpson's got some speed on the base pass. Watch out for a potential steal here, as that'll bring up Donahue. We are in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, Simpson 2 for 2 on stolen bases this season, but as you mentioned,
one of those was yesterday.
Yeah, he's got some speed.
Yeah, we really saw him flash the speed yesterday. That stolen base that he had yesterday was not the typical first to second. It was second to third. And the craziest thing about it was that the catcher, Minzy, didn't even have a play. By the time he was able to get the ball from the pitch, he was already there, Simpson. He showed some elite speed there. As this one in between the gap, and it gets through, and ended up being a decent play by Adams to grab the ball with his free hand. Might have saved extra bases there for Central Michigan, but he cannot corral the ball quickly enough to make a play on either of the base runners. So it's 2 base runners on now for Central Michigan.
Yeah, that's going to be an infield single for Donahue, but the reason why that happened is you see Billy Adams. We see him right now. So we were zoomed in on the pitcher, Tate, just a moment ago. He's over there towards second, possible double play ball, so he's in position for that, and the baseball was hit typically where Adams plays at shortstop, and so just a tough situation there for Ohio.
Yeah, a little bit of bad luck potentially. We'll see if it comes back to bite him, as Tate has worked himself into a little bit of a jam here as he starts things out. 0-2 now the count to Jackson, who's got 2 walks today.
Oh, that was really close.
Just outside. You could see the nonverbal communication between Tate and the umpire. Kind of just had the quick question, and the ump maybe gave him a hand motion low or out. And that one's fouled back, so we remain at 1-2. It's always interesting to see the dynamics between the players and the umpires, because you'll see the players, if they don't agree, typically you'll see like a head or a hand motion, like, hey, like, what was that? Was it in, out, high, low? Tate deals, and that is strike 3. Wasn't much doubt about that one. Jackson shakes his head, I think maybe regret not swinging. He'll strike out looking, big-time strikeout there from Tate. That'll be the first out, and that will bring up a dangerous hitter. We've already talked about him a couple times today in Garrett Navarro.
Yeah, that was interesting there. Jackson, he's walked twice in this game and left the bat on his shoulders in that at-bat. Huge play, or pitch, I should say, from Tate to get an out without allowing these runners to advance.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree there when I say that is just a big-time pitch at a big-time moment when you need an out. He delivers, and once again, there's a good pitch right down. Went for the same pitch there. Runners remain on first and second. It is Simpson at second, Donahue at first. Garrett Navarro steps into the box, the left-handed hitter today. Double steal opportunity, and it is passed. Home comes Simpson. He will score with ease. And that will allow Donahue to scamper over to third base. Central Michigan plates a runner for the third straight inning. It is 5-3 now. So the double steal is a bold strategy from the Chippewas, but it paid off there as a runner comes in to score at the end of it all.
Yeah, and that was a double steal on a breaking ball. So, right, it's going to take a little bit longer to get to the plate, and that's, I think, why Minzy rushed that throw a bit, and it went wide of Casper Bauer.
Yeah, again, that's kind of the second time where Lady Luck has not really been on OU's side in this inning there with the play for Adams earlier, and that time where you throw it, you know, you can't control that. Obviously, there's no real tell in a pitch as Navarro will ground this one foul right to the first baseman. There's no tell for Tate of whether or not he's throwing a breaking ball, so the call comes in from the Chippewas to run the double steal. And Tate, if he throws a fastball, potentially there's a better chance for Minzy to make the play at catcher. Maybe he's able to throw a better ball over to Casper Bauer, and maybe he catches Simpson in time. But it wasn't to be there for the Bobcats. Tate throws again. 2-2 the count, and that one's fouled back, so we'll stay at 2-2. For now, we've got some nice blue skies. And you can see the rolling cloud cover behind us. Here comes the 2-2 from Tate. And he gets a big strikeout. Navarro is down swinging. Tate picks up his second strikeout. And the Central Michigan now 2 outs with Donahue over on third base. And that will bring up Robbie Morgan the fourth.
That's a great job. Sorry to jump in there. I just wanted to say 2 strikeouts.
That has hit hard into left field, and coming on to make the play is Antle. So finished your point there for you, did Jacob Tate, as he gave Morgan the fourth a pitch. Morgan the fourth hit it well, but Antle comes on strong, makes a good play, and the Bobcats once again limit the damage. They keep the pipe closed, and they get out with just the 1 run. The Chippewas leave a runner stranded on third base. Ohio will have another chance to respond. The bats have been active today for the Cats. Can they keep things going? 5-3 Chips as we are halfway through into the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th here in Athens. And why not start off the bottom of the 5th with number 5, Alec Patino, up to the plate for Ohio. The left-handed batter. Still going strong is Keegan Backa. Through 7 hits, 5 earned, 4 strikeouts. That they're opting to stick with them are the Chips.
76 pitches.
Yeah.
So he's getting up there.
It's interesting crossover there is that Hemmen had way less pitches than that, and they pulled him. As Patino takes one high into shallow center. Once again, a little bit of miscommunication but the play ends up being made by Simpson. 4 guys over there. Navarra, Donahue, Sefcik, and Simpson all came over. And in the end, it was Simpson, the shortstop, the guy who may have been the farthest away at the start of the play, is the guy who ends up making the play. Oh, a fly out for Patino.
Going back to your point about Mitchell Hemmon, how he threw only 57 pitches and exited the game earlier than Keegan Batka, who's still out there. Hemmon has only made 2 starts this season. That was just the second start. So he, I believe, again, haven't caught up with Craig Moore recently about it, but Hemmon might be transitioning from bullpen to starter with Brendan Roeder, who is the Friday night starter to begin this season. Yeah. I'm not sure if he's still dealing with a little bit of an injury, but last week he was.
Yeah. So maybe just another arm that could give you longer innings could be something that is huge, especially later in the season when guys, when arms get tired and maybe injuries happen. Of course, they're a part of the game. Having a guy like Hemmon to give you 4 or 5 innings could be big in a game like that. That is a base hit over the head of the second baseman, Sefcik. Sturek has his second single of the day, and the Bobcats have a base runner.
I'm very impressed with this Ohio offense. They have put together some quality at-bats, and again, we touched on it at the beginning of the season. Ohio felt coming in, their strength was offense, and according to Colin Kasperbauer, this team has the best hitting coach in the MAC. He might be biased by saying that. That is Kirby McGuire, but Kasperbauer did mention that Kirby's, the best hitting coach in the Mid-American Conference. I asked Colin, why is he the best hitting coach in the Mid-American Conference? He said he knows what our approach is supposed to be in every at-bat, and he is very good at coming up with different drills.
Yeah, well, the Bobcats have certainly used those teachings today. We've seen a ton of battles in the box from the Bobcats, and they have taken advantage. They've put 5 runs on 8 hits, and they have done the job. They lead by 2 runs here, 3 for the Central Michigan, as that is hard hit by Gideon Antle, but no dice, as coming on quickly is Robbie Morgan, who's been busy over there in left field. That'll be the second straight flyout for Gideon Antle. And that'll bring up Cole Williams, who's having a nice day. Had a homer, 3-run home run in the 3rd inning, and a single, scored a run in the 4th on that double by Alex Finney. That'll be a strike on the first pitch to Williams. Bobcats switched up the uniforms today. Maybe that's why the offense is doing a little bit better than it was yesterday. Yesterday they came out with they almost have a peach tinge to them, the alternate uniforms. Today they're in their classic green and white pinstripe home unis. Central Michigan in the maroon and maroon and yellow. I do like the green and white pinstripes. They give a nice little tinge to them. Here's the 1-1 to Williams. Vaca's still going. Williams hits one hard down the right field line, and it is gone. It stays fair. A 2-run home run day for Cole Williams. He picks up his 2nd of the day. He'll rock the baby once again, and the Bobcats extend their lead. It's 7-3. Cole Williams, have a day.
I mean, oh my, look at the energy in that Ohio huddle right there as Williams is submerged with all of his teammates. Wow, I tell you what, Cole Williams, who came into this game with only 3 hits. He has 3 hits in this game.
Yeah, he's doubled his hit count in one day, and a couple of them have gone yard. As Cole Williams is having himself a afternoon to remember. As Finney takes the 2nd pitch straight into center, and Donahue comes on and makes the play, but the damage was done once again. The Bobcats put up the second straight 2 spot, and it was the same man doing the damage who did it in the bottom of the second. Cole Williams with his second home run of the day, a 2-run blast to give the Bobcats a 7-3 lead. We are through 5 here in Athens, Central Michigan's offense, when we come back. Jacob Tate back out onto the mound for his second inning of the day as we are in the top of the 6th. Bobcats lead 7-3, 7 runs on 9 hits for Ohio. They are being efficient with the bat. They are fighting in the box. It makes me think of Aaron Boone. You remember a couple of years ago, the Yankees manager, when there was the game against the Blue Jays where he said, "My guys are savages in that box." That's what it's making me think of today, because Ohio certainly have been savages in the box today. Merciless with the bats, and they currently lead by 4 runs. Central Michigan 3 runs on 6 hits. Central Michigan's got 2 errors. Ohio's got 1. Well, there's your box score as of now. 2-0 the count here to Dardis, who has a couple of strikeouts today. 1 swinging, 1 looking. There's another strike into him there from Tate, who, after a little bit of a shaky start, was able to calm things down with a couple of strikeouts in the back half of the bottom of the 5th, or the top, excuse me.
Yeah, we talked about this Ohio bullpen the last inning when Tate started the top of the 5th, and they've been really solid in this series so far, as that one's fouled off. Yesterday, Colin Sells, Tyler Peck, and Dylan Masters combined for 4 innings. 1 walk, 1 run, 9 strikeouts across 4 innings for that trio. That's something that also was the case last weekend against Bowling Green. The bullpen was sharp.
Yeah, we've seen that sharpness, and it kept Ohio in that game for a long stretch. In the end, it was the offense that couldn't quite find the bats, and it was shutdown stuff from the pitching from Central Michigan. Adam Rakic had himself a nice day, and then Ryan Palmblad came in and got the 6-out save. Completely shut down Ohio's offense. Was a 6-out, about as smooth a 6-out save as you'll find, as that one just can't catch the outside corner. And for the second straight inning, a leadoff walk, plates the opening runner for the Chippewas. That'll bring up Sefcik now, the second baseman, who is 1 for 2 today. As Central Michigan now facing an uphill battle to get back into this game, but that's how you start rallies, with leadoff base runners.
Yeah, and walks certainly do not help Ohio. This is a situation where if you're Central Michigan, you're patient. You understand that there's a little bit of a trend going on here with some of these pitches not locating properly, as we see this count go to 2 balls and no strikes. Make Jacob Tate, if I'm the batter, Sefcik, make Jacob Tate throw me a strike here. Just walk Nick Dardis. You're sitting 2-0. Look for something right down the zone right here.
The pitch. And you set that up pretty perfectly, Sam, as that is a single. Or no, he's going to double up, and he's going to get in there for 2. I got to stop jumping on the singles, because Central Michigan jumps ahead, and they use their speed with precision. Luke Sefcik is able to dig in and grab, maybe turn what could have been a single into a double. Digs in for 2, and that'll set up runners on second and third with no outs. And for the second straight inning, Jacob Tate has worked himself into a little bit of a jam. And that'll bring out the Bobcats. That'll bring out a mound visit as Minzy goes out there to have a quick discussion with Jacob Tate.
Yeah, Tim Brown out there, Ohio's pitching coach. You wonder what the decision here is going to be. Right now it's a left-on-right matchup. And at the moment, with runners at second and third, you're looking at a situation where you're probably going to have the corner infielders in, but trade a run for an out if it's hit to short or second base. In other words, not bring the middle infielders are in. Not bring the middle infielders in. You got a 4-run lead right now. And
it's about damage control.
Yeah, if I'm Jacob Tate, I'm thinking to myself, look, I just did this basically back in the 5th inning. When he came in, he allowed a walk, he allowed a single. Now, a little bit different scenario. You got runners at second and third after a walk and a double as opposed to a walk and a single.
Big at-bat right here in this ball game, and it's Cade Preston. His last at-bat was that solo shot back in the 4th, so a guy that can get it out of the park and has shown the power today. The 1-0. Just a bit outside.
And I don't know, obviously I can't read people's minds, but I don't know if Tim Brown said maybe to pitch around Cade Preston here. You got the first base bag open, perhaps. I don't know. It's 2-0 right now.
No doubt about that one, though. Or maybe there was a little bit of doubt. They did catch the inside corner. Preston maybe had a slight grimace. Dang, that was just outside kind of look on his face. As 2-1 here for Jacob Tate. That is swung on. Good pitch there from Tate. Outside. Got the chase from Preston.
And now you got to go at him with 2 strikes. Can't waste something here.
Time called. Time called by Preston as he... Now there's a discussion between him and one of the Central Michigan assistant coaches. 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position today are the Chippewas. Here's a big-time couple of pitches. 2-2 here. Jacob Tate versus Cade Preston. The pitch is just a bit outside. Good take from Preston. And now load up the count and ramp up the pressure here for 3-2. Full count here. Here's the payoff from Tate. It is high and outside, and that'll be a walk, and that'll load up the bases, and the tying run will come to the plate now in the form of Christian Mitchell. And a big-time moment here, a big-time inning as this 4-run lead, which seemed so secure just a few minutes ago, is now hanging on precariously.
Yeah.
It's Dardis over at third.
Yeah, Mitchell up right now. He's at 246 this season.
And he takes the first pitch he sees. I think the Bobcats will take this every day of the week, but he can't finish the double play. So they plate a run to the Chippewas. It's smart base running from Dardis to come in and get the run. It was a double play ball, and they went for the same 6-4-3 that they got in the third on Justin Simpson, the man who's coming to the plate right now. But in the end, the speed of Mitchell beat that out. So it'll be a fielder's choice, I believe. It'll be a fielder's choice. So the runner out on second is Preston. A run will score, so it is 7-4. It'll be an RBI fielder's choice. But now you've still got runners on the corners, so the Bobcats are certainly not out of the woods yet. Tate is in there for strike 1. So 1 out now. Runners on the corners, 7-4. This game's still precariously positioned. Central Michigan have put up 1 run in each of the last 4 innings. But they've got the opportunity to do more here as Tate checks the runner. over at first.
Yeah, what a big moment this is. Tate has to just settle in, focus on getting an out here. Like we talked about, that could have been an easy double play ball, but he still can regroup.
Yeah, the steal attempt is not even going to be challenged. Probably the smart move there to keep that ball from Minzy, as if they went for the steal, it easily could have played it a run. So now runners on second and third. Mitchell advances. Single now, or any sort of hit, might play 2 runs instead of 1. And that is outside. A good take. Looked like Simpson was going to chase, but he pulled back. 1 and 2 now the count. On this chilly midwinter, late winter day in Athens. Just a couple days away from spring. Sure doesn't feel like it as Simpson tastes the heat there from Jacob Tate. Gets a big-time strikeout. And that will allow the Bobcats to breathe just a little bit easier, but once again, they are not out of the woods yet. 2 outs for Central Michigan with runners on second and third. Jacob Donahue up to the plate. He's got a run today and a single.
What a big pitch there from Jacob Tate to get an out without allowing these runners to advance and protect this 3-run lead. And that curveball is working. I tell you what, that backdoor curve from Tate on these right-handed hitters, it looks like it's really thrown off some of these Central Michigan Chippewas.
It is catching that outside corner. It's really allowing, as they show bunt here, it's a perfect bunt laid down. Can Tate make the play? It is over the head of the first baseman, Patino. That'll bring in 2 runs. It was a perfect bunt from Donahue. Cannot execute much better than that. And Tate knew that the plate wasn't on, so he tried to swing it around to first base, but the throw was high over Patino's head and went into the seats, and it is party time in the Central Michigan dugout. They are dancing and yelling for the first time all day, really. They've really got something to really feel like they can get back into this game. It's 7-6 now, as Donahue laid down a perfect bunt. Marquise Jackson up to the plate. That one catches the high corner.
And there will be an error in that sequence, obviously, with the throw from Jacob Tate that went awry of the first base bag.
Second error of the day for the Bobcats. It's a very even game. It's been an even game all day, but now it's real even on the scoreboard. Just 1 more hit and 1 more run for the Bobcats. Same amount of errors for both teams. Jacob Tate looking to work his way out of the jam. That is a softly hit ball by Jackson into Finney, and he makes the play. So Tate is able to work his way through a couple of runners, but a perfectly executed bunt by Jacob Donahue allows Central Michigan to plate 2 runs. Jacob Tate's error, he threw the ball over the head of Patino, allowed the second run to come in, and just like that, the Chippewas are back within striking distance. We have a 1-run game here at Bob Wrenn Stadium. The Bobcat offense will look to continue to heat things up as the snow continues to fall in Athens. Back in Athens and back with a pitching change. This time it's the Chippewas who go to the bullpen. It's Ryan Insko, the redshirt junior from Kirkwood, Missouri, coming in. And that'll allow us to take a look at Keegan Bacca, who had a very up and down day. Break down the line for us, Sam.
Yeah, it was kind of all over the place, kind of like the weather today, right? All over the place.
No kidding.
He went 5 innings, 9 hits allowed, 7 runs absorbed, all earned, 0 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He threw 89 pitches. And like we described, very rocky up and down, but hey, his team is in position to win this game. It's only a 1-run contest.
Yeah, it was 3 straight balls to start things off for Ryan Insko. But he was able to bounce back there with a strike on Billy Adams, the freshman. He'll foul that back. So we load the count. 3-2. Bobcats seemed like a comfortable lead for a lot of the day, but they haven't been able to fully go for the jugular. As Adams hits one, hard hit into center. Could fall into that Bermuda Triangle of uncertainty, but it won't this time as Navarro makes the play. The right fielder comes in to shallow right center to take care of business, and the Chippewas have their first out on the board of the 6th.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this game, it's been incredibly entertaining, very competitive. What Ohio has done is not allow the big inning. Okay, maybe the top of the 6th, a minor big frame, allowed 3 runs, but outside of that, every time Central Michigan has scored in this game, they've only scored 1 time in an inning. They scored once in the 3rd, once in the 4th, once in the 5th, and then they erupted a little bit, a mini volcano for 3 runs in the 6th. But Ohio's on top of this game right now because they have not allowed the big inning, and they've been very consistent offensively.
Yes, the consistency offensively is the biggest thing, as they've been able to consistently plate runs. In 3 out of their 5 innings, they've been able to get a run across, and they've had multiple runs come across in all 3 of those innings, 3 in the 2nd and then 2 apiece in the 4th and the 5th. So trying to keep a streak alive here of runs. 1-2 the count to A.J. Roush. That one is low and away. 2-2 now for the redshirt sophomore, who's been another one of these guys that's near the top of the charts in a lot of the hitting categories for the Bobcats. Did he get a tip on that one? I think he did. He'll stay alive just about by the slight piece of metal on his bat that was able to get the slightest touch of that ball. 2-2. Insko to Roush. Good take by Roush. Real tough one to take, too. Battle of the number 7s here between Insko and Roush, and it's going right down to the wire.
Yeah, that was an elite take from the capital E.
He hits this one. It's high in the air. Preston will make the play right in front of Roush at first base. So another hard-fought at-bat. You can't win them all if you're Ohio, but they are certainly fighting in a lot of these at-bats. And that'll be 2 quick outs for Central Michigan. And that'll bring up Colin Kasperbauer, who had the ground out in the 4th, but that did bring a run across. So despite being 0 for 3 today, Colin Kasperbauer does have an RBI.
I remember what we talked about early on. If this is a 1-2 run game, what are we going to look back and reflect on if Ohio wins this game? That top of the 1st inning.
Yeah.
That play at the plate in the top of the 1st inning where Mason Minzy tagged out Marquise Jackson at the plate.
That's the difference right now on the scoreboard. There's a nice pitch that catches Kasperbauer. 1-1. The count. 7-6 here, Ohio versus Central Michigan. I'm glad you're joining us here on this fine Saturday afternoon. Maybe taking a quick break from March Madness to catch some MAC baseball. As no swing there from Casper Bauer.
This game's delivering some
Oh,
madness.
yeah, we saw all the madness yesterday. We saw only the second 16 seed in history to ever win a game in the March Madness tournament. Fairleigh Dickinson was able to take down Purdue yesterday, as Colin Casperbauer was able to work a walk. And we saw all sorts of drama. We saw that crazy finish between Memphis and Florida Atlantic, crazy finish between Arizona and TCU that happened almost at the exact same time. It was pretty crazy how two games were coming right down to the wire at almost the same exact time.
And I would
Beauty of March.
I would say this game as well.
Yeah.
That we're watching right now.
We're setting it up.
This is madness, right?
Yeah,
this
it
game.
is madness. We have seen a lot of craziness. We've seen almost all the cool things you could see in a baseball game. We've seen double plays. We've seen home runs. We've seen plays at the plate. We've seen some elite pitching. We've seen some elite hitting. And who's to say what's next? Because we have had all the twisted turns. We've seen every kind of weather, too. We've cycled through almost.
We haven't seen rain, though.
No.
And that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
That's a good thing.
It is held off. It's been snow when it has come down. Of course, yesterday we were able to avoid the major rain, and we were able to get that game in. And really never, it was supposed to rain yesterday, never really did. And today we've had, obviously, the sporadic snow flurries throughout the day. And just outside there to Minzy, who reached on an error in the first, but is 0 for 2 since then. And that one is a little bit high, it seemed. So it will be ball 3. 3-1 the count to Mason Minzy with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. You've got Colin Casperbauer over at first base after working that walk. What can Mason Minzy do here with 3-1? He'll hit one hard and foul. Oof. Ryan Insko can breathe a sigh of relief because Mason Minzy got all of that one. That one is probably nestled somewhere in Ohio softball field right now.
I just saw it bounce on the top of the press box on the softball field.
A big break there for Central Michigan that Minzy was just ahead of that. As Minzy caught the corner there from Insko. Minzy didn't think so. A couple in the Ohio dugout are not happy with that call. Greg Moore isn't too pleased. He raises his hand saying that was inside or outside. And there's complaints from the crowd as well. And it is a feisty atmosphere here in Athens as we continue on. 3 innings to go. Who knows, maybe more, as Central Michigan looks to continue their comeback. They're down just 1 run, 7-6 Ohio, as we head to the 7th. It's a blustery Athens, Ohio, and we are heating up on the diamond. Jacob Tate is back out there for inning number 3 of work, as Ohio now precariously hangs on to a lead as Garrett Navarra will pop out on his first pitch. So that'll be a nice boost for Jacob Tate after struggling a little bit in that last inning, giving up 3 runs. Lara with the ground out there. Did hit the floor, didn't look like it is now. Yeah, so Tate was just getting that first guy, and he did his job on 1 pitch.
The left-on-left matchup,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. So it's an educated decision from Craig Moore and his coaching staff, and the call to the bullpen is made. He did his job there in that inning, Jacob Tate, and he did his job by preserving the lead for the Bobcats. Gave up a couple runs, but he has kept the Bobcat lead intact. So Jacob Tate trots off after 2 1/3 innings of work. 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them were earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts through 42 pitches for Ohio. Now that will bring in a new pitcher, and that pitcher is Braxton Kelly, 5th year from Ulysses, Kentucky, 6'3". A couple of tall guys on the mound today for Ohio. Tate was 6'5". Kelly checking in at 6'3". As he will warm up. Kelly is 5th year. Looking at the stats so far, he's thrown just 2 innings, or excuse me, no, 5 innings this year. He's threw the most innings in that his last game against Bowling Green. Was able to throw 2 innings in that game, as he is ready to go, and so is the game. It'll be Robbie Morgan the 4th, the first batter he'll face. He's thrown 5 innings, given up 5 hits, given up 2 earned runs, and has 5 strikeouts and 3 walks. Here's the 1-1. Check swing that will fall just short of the bullpen for Central Michigan. It was an awkward swing there from Morgan. Kind of seemed like he wanted to check up, but got the contact, and it goes foul, as those typically do. Here's the 1-2. It is high. 2-2 the count. Morgan the 4th is 0 for 3 today. A couple of flyouts and a lineout. A couple of lineouts and a flyout, I should say. And now he'll add a strikeout to that. 0 for 4 for Robbie Morgan the 4th. Nice way to start things off for Kelly.
Yeah, really good confidence booster there from Braxton Kelly, coming off the bench, out of the bullpen, in the cold, and gets off on the right foot.
Yeah, absolutely. And very nice pitch there to get the strikeout on Morgan. Now Dardis up to the plate. He is 0 for 2, but he walked and scored in his last at bat. Two very quick outs for the Bobcats in this top of the 7th. This one is high and back up and over our heads in the press box. Might end up on Stimson Avenue at some point behind us. And once again, they're back again. The snow flurries, they continue to pop up throughout this game. Dardis hits one hard to Casper Bauer at 3rd, who makes a nice dig and is able to toss it over to Patino. That's a nice, crisp play from the Bobcat infield, and that will do it for the top of the 7th inning. Ohio finally able to keep Central Michigan off the board for the first time since the 2nd inning, and that'll keep their slim 1-0 lead intact. They'll look to pad that lead as we head to the 7th inning stretch here, live on Bobcat TV. It's Ohio versus Central Michigan baseball. we have another call to the bullpen, and this time it's coming from the Chippewas. Ryan Insco's day is done. It was a pretty straightforward one. One inning, no hits allowed, no runs allowed. He had a walk and a strikeout. Did his job in 24 pitches. Did what he needed to do, and now Central Michigan going to bring in one of the best pitchers on their staff in Nate Ross, Sam.
Yeah, Nate Ross, a 1.74 ERA, a sizzling 1.74 ERA in 7 relief appearances, 10 1/3 innings. And he's a guy, as that pitch is fouled back, that's very familiar with the starting pitcher, not just because they're current teammates at Central Michigan, but Keegan Badka and Nate Ross were junior college teammates at Kellogg Community College, and also played on the same Northwoods League team in the summer of 2022. So talk about a journey for those two guys, and if they're able to bookend, I know Ohio fans wouldn't want this, but if they're able to bookend a win, that would be pretty cool for them. Ohio trying to get some insurance, though, right now and protect this one-run lead.
Yeah, they played for the Battle Jacks, team that has some Ohio connections, some Ohio journalism connections. A couple Cedric Granger will be calling those games this year.
Yeah.
We'll hear Cedric here tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Cedric and I will be.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, Cedric and I will be on the call for tomorrow's series finale. But yeah, the Northwoods League. It's a great. You talk to a lot of coaches in college baseball, and talk to the Central Michigan head coach Jordan Bischel, who spent some time with the Green Bay Bullfrogs and the Wisconsin Woodchucks. It's a really good summer ball league.
Patino is able to hit one sharply to second, but the play is made over there by Sefcik. Tosses it over to Preston, and that'll be the first out of the inning. And when you talk about summer baseball, you see that a ton of these players will go play summer ball. They'll finish up their college season, and whether it be May or sometime around then, and then they'll head out to wherever. And typically, they'll enjoy a nice summer, and they'll be able to play the sport they love. And they'll stay sharp for the fall and prepare for the next spring. It's a nice place. We see one right here. The Copperheads play here in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League, another one where we saw a couple Ohio players as well as a couple other players from the MAC, guys from Toledo, Central Michigan, Kent State, all had guys play in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. So I'll always be an advocate for it. It's a cool thing to see. And it's a great experience for these guys to play against different competition as well. You'll get players from all different spots. You'll get community college guys. You'll get D1 guys. They'll come from everywhere.
Yeah, it's one thing that I like about the Northwoods League is the travel is very comparable to minor league baseball. So for guys that are possibly going to go play at the professional level, it's really good comparison to have that rigorous travel and try and play through that.
Yeah, that one was outside from Ross. And you see leagues, like the Cape Cod League is the famous one up in Massachusetts. They are all over, and you'll see them pop up in a lot of different places. And, again, it's like I was saying, it's a great opportunity for a lot of these guys. And I'm sure a lot of the players on the field today will be heading out to a variety of different places. Of course, I mentioned it on the broadcast yesterday. If you're looking for something to do in Athens over the summer and you don't have anything to do, a Southern Ohio Copperheads game is not going to let you down. We have fun. Worked here last summer for them, and it is a great game day experience. Annie Valent does a great job keeping that going. It's a cool organization, and it's cool baseball. I see a lot of Ohio players end up staying here in Athens over the summer and playing for the Copperheads. Adam Beery, who's on the roster right now, Luke Borer, just a couple of the guys that played for the Copperheads last summer.
Weather's probably better too.
Athens usually stays nice over the summer. You won't see any snow flurries as Sturek takes that one on the left elbow. So Ross allows a base runner.
Yes, this is one of the best pitchers on the staff, Nate Ross. He's got 3 saves in this game, or in this 2023 season, I should say. We saw Ryan Palmblad yesterday.
Yeah, and he took care of that Ohio offense. There was in those last, so obviously Adam Rakic goes 7 strong for the Chippewas. And then Ohio just couldn't get anything going on the back end after Palmblad came in. They were able to get to they were able to get to Mrakic, who had a great outing. They had 7 strong, and they were able to get to him in the 6th a little bit. But once they brought in Palmblad, it was almost game over. And Ross trying to keep Central Michigan in the game this time. This looks like it'll be playable for Dardis, and it will. Did he make the catch?
Yeah.
I think he did. It seemed like the ball might have bounced out, but he's able to corral it. Very nice play there from Nick Dardis behind the plate.
I think he may have snow-coned it.
Yeah, it looked like it. It almost looked like it bounced, but he was able to get. Didn't hit the ground, so that will allow, and that'll be an out for Antle, who will pop out behind the plate. And now the man of the hour, the man of the day for the Bobcats, Cole Williams, steps into the box. He is 3 for 3 with a single and a pair of home runs.
What a day for Cole Williams, who came in 3 for 17 at the plate this season. 3 for 17. He's 3 for 3 in this game.
Not too shabby. That one just misses the outside corner. 2 outs. Runner still over on first base is Sturek, who was hit by a pitch. And Ross will check him back over to his spot. Ross deals once again outside. Seemed like he was trying to grip that ball a little bit harder to maybe swing it back into the zone. Didn't quite happen on that pitch. So 2-1 the count. Ross motions back to his catcher, checks the runner, and here comes the pitch. It is fouled back by Williams.
I expect something hard hit here from Cole Williams, given how his day has gone.
Yeah, it's a hard guy to go against. One of the matchups of the day right here, Nate Ross versus Cole Williams. Who will take this battle? We won't find out just yet. It's 2-2. With 2 outs, this game still hangs on a knife edge. It is 7-6 Ohio. It's been a back and forth battle. The pitch from Ross. Gets away, and that will allow Sturek to advance to second. So now you throw another little pressure adder into the mixer with Sturek over on second base. And now Williams, a base hit, might score what could be a huge insurance run for the Bobcats.
Yeah, you turn the flame up a little bit on that pot that's trying to boil the water.
Yeah,
it's boiling faster now.
Who's gonna step up here on the full count? It is high. Cole Williams continues his good day, gets on base. And that will bring up Alex Finney, who himself is 2 for 3 on the day. In another big spot here, the Bobcats trying to get something going against Nate Ross in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Nate Ross, who hit a batter in this inning, his first hit batsman of the season, and he's walked 5.
And that one gets away from the catcher, Dardis. And just like that, runners on second and third for the Bobcats. Ohio in business out of nothing almost.
That's 2 wild pitches in this inning from Nate Ross, who is one of the most electrifying relievers in the early season here in the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, and he needs to lock in right here. Big moment once again in this game. Finney versus Ross. Ross deals, and it's low. 2-0 now the count. You've got Adams waiting in the on-deck circle. If Finney can get on base. Finney, as I mentioned, double and single, and now a mound meeting going to take place here. Dardis comes over, Looks like an assistant coach for Central Michigan comes over as well. Most likely a pitching coach. Craig Moore over on the far side, still shaking the legs out, trying to stay warm. A couple of the players in the dugout trying to stay warm. You got a lot of hats and gloves on in the Ohio dugout and the Central Michigan dugout. It's definitely noticeably colder today than it was yesterday, and yesterday was chilly, but today is very chilly. Had another layer to it. 2-0 the count. That one is high. 3-0 to Finney. I'd be shocked if we saw a swing here on 3-0 with the position and situation. And he takes a strike. Big response pitch there from Ross. Needed it bad. The 3-1 with 2 outs. Fouled back. And just like that, the count is full. 3-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Another flashpoint in what's been a game full of them. Runners on second and third for Ohio. Here's the payoff. And it is outside. Great take from Finney to work the walk. And the bases are loaded for Billy Adams here. Ohio trying to pad what is a precarious 7-6 lead. It is a 1-run lead. And the bases are loaded. Billy Adams, the freshman, in a big spot here. First pitch is a strike from Ross.
A pretty short memory from Nate Ross there. Didn't take much time after he allowed the walk. Stepped right up on the mound, fired one in there for a strike.
Yeah, that's how you have to be as a pitcher, and he has to keep that mindset right now, and quickly Adams is behind 0-2.
Ohio's dugout very energetic on the top step.
Adams hits one hard and foul. Staying alive. You can see the voices. You can see the energy, feel the energy up here from the Ohio dugout. They can sense that this might be their moment to take advantage of this game. Like I said earlier, go for the jugular. This is an opportunity. Central Michigan's jugular is exposed. Can Ohio take advantage? The 0-2 is staying alive as Adams just about. That pitch was outside. And he was able to get a piece of it.
Hey, you've got to widen your strike zone a little bit if you're Billy Adams. Down 0-2, and don't play that guessing game.
Ooh. That was close. Adams had to duck out of the way. Another pitch there where Ross seemed like he kind of lost grip of the ball right at the end of the form. So the first ball of the at-bat from for Adams. Here's the 1-2 from Ross. Adams rips a base hit up the middle. That'll score 1, and it will score another. 2 runs in and a clutch 2-run single from the freshman Billy Adams. And the Bobcats get after one of the better relievers in the MAC in Nate Ross and extend their lead 9-6 now. Ohio's advantage.
I mean, can I say it again? That's an elite at-bat with a capital E. What an unbelievable AB from Billy Adams to get behind in the count 0-2. And look at this.
And now the steal attempt is not in time, so Ohio will not be able to pad their lead more, but with an at-bat far beyond his years, Billy Adams gives the Bobcats 2 more runs and helps them pad that lead. They lead 9-6, and Braxton Kelly will trot back out onto the mound looking to preserve that lead. We'll be back with the 8th inning live from Bob Wren Stadium. back in Athens, and this game continues to deliver, Sam. We have had electricity throughout, and Ohio with another counterpunch, and this time it was the freshman Billy Adams with a clutch 2-run single to give Ohio 2 more runs. 9-6 now the lead.
Yeah, Billy Adams was really locked in that at bat. Couple runners on base, or a couple guys on base, I should say. And Billy Adams with 2 strikes, fighting off pitches, and waits on the off speed, puts it up the box.
That is a high pop fly, and waving everybody off was Adams, and he's doing it in the field too. Billy Adams makes the play there, and that'll be out number 1. That was Sefcik, and that'll bring up Cade Preston. Yeah, Adams, a freshman from Medina, stayed close to home by coming here to Ohio, and he's getting big minutes early in his college career.
Yeah, I asked Craig Moore, Ohio's head coach, about Billy Adams last weekend, and he said Billy's a competitor. He's not going to let anybody beat him, and he did just that. He did not let Nate Ross, who's got a sub-2 ERA, he didn't let him get to his head. And what did he do? A 2-run single out of the 9 spot.
I said it about how that was a at-bat beyond his years as Preston fouls that one off to the left side. When you have a player like that, when you're going up against as good a pitchers, and you go down 0-2 that quickly, a lot of pitchers would chase, or a lot of batters, I should say, would fold, and would maybe chase a pitch, strike out swinging away, or maybe take something off speed. Not Billy Adams. He waited, he sat, and we were discussing it during the break that he just waited for his pitch. He waited for his off speed, and he got his off speed pitch, and that one catches the inside corner. As not to be outdone, Braxton Kelly is doing the business right now for Ohio. Couple of strikeouts for him, including that one right there on Cade Preston.
Yeah, really nice pitch there from Kelly. Again, bullpen has been very, very reliable for the most part in this series for Craig Moore.
He's getting what he needs out of that bullpen, and he's getting what he needs today out of Braxton Kelly. He is doing the job so far. Through an inning and a third, he's got 2 strikeouts, and has thrown just 16 pitches. So you'd expect that he probably has the rest of this inning, and we'll see what the decision is from Craig Moore in terms of the rest of this game. That one's in there for a strike. 1-1 the count with 2 out, 2 quick outs for Central Michigan here in the top of the 8th. Ohio with the 3-run lead. Another beautiful pitch, you just said it.
Filthy off speed from Kelly, just hugging the bottom of the strike zone.
Braxton Kelly brought it today, trying to pick up his 3rd strikeout here. 1-2, and that one's low. No chase. As believe actually we missed it. We were talking up Braxton Kelly, but we've got a pinch hitter here. It is Cole Prout, number 44, a freshman, and it won't matter as he strikes him out, looks and stares him down. Braxton Kelly bringing the energy for the Ohio Bobcats as they're just 3 outs away from a big-time victory in game number 2 of this series, but they'll bat first, try and pad their lead. It'll be the Bobcats' top of the order coming up when we come back. Bobcats at the plate. A couple switches in the alignment for Central Michigan. Christian Mitchell hit the bench. They pinch hit there as quickly lifted into center field. A.J. Roush, and it is out of here. The Bobcats once again strike as A.J. Roush goes yard.
Wow. Jacob Donahue gave it all he had.
He did.
Put the glove over the wall, but how about it? A.J. Roush.
I think he lost his glove.
Yeah, he did.
He lost it over the wall.
Look at our screen right here.
Yeah.
He's without a glove.
He lost the glove. He did give it everything he had. He was saying, oh, I just had it. I was so close. That's what every outfielder dreams of, is looking for that robbery at the wall. And there it is.
The wall robbed him.
And somebody was behind the wall there.
The wall robbed him.
Yeah, and the wall just regurgitated his glove. It won't regurgitate the ball, though. And the Bobcats into double digits. 10-6 now, the lead, as A.J. Roush goes yard.
Wow, and that's just the second hit out of the top 4 batters in the Ohio lineup. Roush has both.
And there's a bunt, and it'll stay fair. Perfect bunt from Colin Kasperbauer. It's been a hitting clinic today from the Bobcats. They've done almost everything.
That is a beautiful sight, to just drop a bunt down and have it hug inside that white line.
Yeah, if there's any kids out there watching this that are looking to pick up some tips, some techniques, the Ohio hitters today have given you a number of great tips and tricks, because we've talked about it all day about the fighting at bats, about continuing to battle against pitchers, even going down 0-2, and continuing to fight. We've seen how many at-bats today where the Bobcats have fought back and stayed alive. Billy Adams' at-bat in the last inning, the most recent one, where we just saw a battle between the pitcher Ross and the young freshman Adams, and he was able to win it and plate 2 runs, and now Ohio have a 4-run lead after Roush goes yard to start off the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, A.J. Roush, second home run this season. Again, he's off to a fabulous start. He's started all 16 games this season, hitting .351. He's got another multi-hit game today.
Yeah, impressive work from him. And there's a strike. It was 3-0 to Mason Minzy, who's still searching for his first hit of the day. And like you said, the top of that lineup has struggled a little bit today. A lot of the work has come from the final 5 hitters. As there's a base hit into right center, excuse me. Around comes the runner Kasperbauer, and he will score. There's an RBI double for Mason Minzy. And the Bobcats can smell it now. 11-6. Another 2-spot, their 4th 2-spot of the day. And they continue to chug along.
Great piece of hitting there by Mason Minzy. That pitch up in the strike zone in his bread basket, and he absolutely demolished it. So Ohio, again, we touched on it earlier, how important this series is. You got a Central Michigan team. They're picked 2nd in the Mid-American Conference preseason poll. Ohio slotted 6th. And again, Ohio lost the series opener last week to Bowling Green. And Craig Moore told me and told our audience who watched the post-game interview that I told our guys we're going to win the next 2 games. And they went and won the next 2 games. And here they're on the verge of responding and winning the 2nd game. There's still 1 more tomorrow, but this team has really put together a solid game all around, no matter how you turn. And now we get a mound visit with Nate Ross dealing with some trouble.
Yeah, they had just had a visit where they had just briefly discussed, but there was no coaches were in that visit. It was just Dardis, the catcher, coming out to talk with Ross. Now the coach will come out, and the whole infield will join in on the discussions. 3-1 the count here to Patino. Or actually, no, is that the count from the last at bat? I don't think Patino's taken a pitch yet in this at bat.
Right, he has not.
That's the count from the last at bat.
And they're going to make a pitching change.
Yeah, so that'll be it for Nate Ross, who came in with a sparkling ERA. He'll leave with it not having the same gloss that it did when it came in. The Bobcats get to him. And we will take a quick break as Central Michigan will warm up their pitcher. And when we come back, the Bobcats are knocking on the door once again here in the bottom of the 8th. Bobcats looking to continue to run this town, as that's what's blaring through the speakers right now, as we had a pitching change. Nate Ross checks out after an inning of work, 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, and 2 walks, no strikeouts. So a day to forget for Nate Ross. And that'll bring in the freshman, Evan Waters.
Evan Waters, another guy, young freshman, as you mentioned, from Oxford, Michigan. His last appearance was on March 15th.
Patino shows bunt and gets a strike.
He had a really good outing, by the way. 2 innings, 4 strikeouts, no runs in his last appearance.
Yeah, the Lake Orion High School product. 0-1 the count here to Patino. And he takes outside 1-1. So we've truly come full circle with the weather. We started with the flurries, and the sun did peak out. I remember the sun being out for Williams' first home run that he had back in the 2nd inning, as this one is hit softly to second, and the play is made. Nice fielding out there by Sefcik, tossing it over to Preston.
Oh, by the way, one defensive change we definitely noted in between innings, Eli Stewart over at third base.
Yeah, I think we were about to say the alignment, and then the home run happened. So we didn't have the chance to go through that. Thank you for that, Sam.
Yeah, Eli Stewart over at third after a pinch hitter.
Yeah, so that was the pinch hitter of Cole Prout, who was struck out there at the end of the inning by Kelly. So now you got Evan Waters in there trying to keep things intact. The runner did advance, by the way, on that play. So Minzy's over at third now. And now it's Sturek, who has 3 runs today. Every time he's made it on base, he has headed home. Has a couple of singles, was hit by a pitch in the 7th. And the top of the order is picking up the slack now after this could be a bang-bang play at the plate. It is, and he's out. Nice snap decision by the shortstop Simpson. He opts for the riskier play at home rather than getting the easy out. And that'll save a run and keep things closer for the Chippewas. So Patina or Sturek will reach on the fielder's choice, but Minzy will be thrown out at home. We got Gideon Antle up to the plate, who is 1 for 3, popped out in the 7th. Antle's hit the ball hard today, but outside of that single in the first, hasn't quite gotten the ball to drop. And double pickoff attempt, keeping Patino, or Sturek, excuse me, honest over there at first base.
Central Michigan looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning, they will have the leadoff top of the order due up.
And it'll need to be a productive inning in the top of the 9th. It'll be interesting to see if Braxton Kelly comes out to finish the job or if they will opt to bring in another guy. With a 5-run lead, I would think that unless Kelly's reached some sort of pitch count, that they might stick with Kelly for now. Another pickoff attempt by Waters. Two outs in the bottom of the 8th. The Bobcats have already put up 2 runs. The Roush solo shot, and then Mason Minzy with an RBI double. Gideon Antle swings and misses at that one. It's a cool name, Gideon Antle, we'll say.
I think I want to say one of the guys, whether it's AJ Roush or Mason Minzy, said the same thing.
Yeah, it is definitely a name that you remember. As once again, keeping Sturek honest over at first base is Waters.
Yeah,
pretty adamant to not let him steal over there.
Yeah. But Gideon Antle, as you mentioned, in addition to his name, he's been a real good bright spot in his first season with Ohio, junior college transfer from Jefferson College in Missouri.
Yeah, it really seems like Craig Moore attacked the portal and bringing in those community college products. It happens a lot. You see it a lot when those community colleges, they play there for 2 years and they endear themselves to Division I coaches. It could be a smart career move, and we've seen it paying off for guys like Gideon Antle.
Alec Patino, who transferred from Iowa Western, the same JUCO that Colin Kasperbauer came from, Iowa Western. We talked about that last week. The Iowa Western pipeline is real from Iowa Western to Ohio.
Wow.
Craig Moore has a lot of ties with that junior college. He recruited Iowa Western guys when he was an assistant at Creighton.
Yeah. That one is well outside for Waters. 2-2.
Right now, tell you what, this game has been fun to watch, especially if you're an Ohio fan. Bobcats on the verge of picking up a massive win if they can hang on.
Antle chases the high fastball. Regretting that one. He's banging his head. Maybe the first time all day we've seen an Ohio hitter go against that hitting creed that they've been drilling in, but Antle still having himself a decent day. When we come back, Ohio tries to close it out, and it will be Braxton Kelly on the mound trying to preserve the game and give Ohio a big-time win in the second game of this 3-game set against Central Michigan. 11-6 Ohio, top of the 9th when we come back. It's crunch time here in Athens. We are in the top of the 9th inning, and Ohio is trying to preserve a 5-run advantage. Central Michigan will have the top of their lineup to work with here, and Braxton Kelly is going to try and preserve the W for Ohio. That's not a bad way to start the inning there with a strike on the outside edge to Justin Simpson, the leadoff hitter for the Chippewas.
Ohio looking to respond after that 8-5 loss yesterday.
And there's strike two. Beautiful off-speed pitch there. Got Simpson way ahead of things. As we head in the 9th, Ohio trying to hang on. It's been an offensive showcase today for the Cats. And that one will be low, 1-2.
Can't emphasize it enough. If Ohio is able to hang on and win this game, how big of a win it would be. We talked about it earlier, but if you're just joining us, Jordan Bischel, the head coach, took over the program in June of 2018. They're 143-57.
There's a hard hit ball into center, and Roush will back up and make the play. Nice catch out in center by A.J. Roush, who homered in the bottom of the 8th. And Ohio are 2 outs away from a big win. Like you said, early in this MAC season, where teams are battling just for momentum rather than position in the standings, getting a win like this and setting up a big-time rubber match tomorrow is big time for Ohio.
Yeah, and let me put that record that I mentioned when Coach Bischel took over into perspective. That's a .715 win percentage. That's the 5th best in the nation during that 4-year span.
Wow.
Only behind Tennessee, Vanderbilt, UC Santa Barbara, and Arkansas.
That is elite company right there. Those are teams that have won College World Series in that span. Braxton Kelly so far having himself an outing. 1-2 through 2 innings so far. Jordan Tate was able to get the first out of the 7th, but since then it's been all Braxton Kelly. 3 strikeouts, no hits. And that's a foul off by Donahue. Chippewas will look to try and get something going here, and if they can't find a way to win this one, they'll look to bounce back tomorrow. Donahue hits this one hard, trying to split the outfielders, but cannot. Once again, some sharp plays in the outfield this inning. It's Sturek this time who makes the play in right, and the Chippewas are down to their final out.
It is not easy to make these catches in the outfield.
On a day like today as well, we've talked about the weather and the wind. You could see over to our left. You can't really make it out on the camera, but that Ohio flag is blowing hard to the right, and you can maybe, in the distance, 15-mile-an-hour winds. That one is hit hard, and that might be a no-doubter. It is a no-doubt home run. So Central Michigan makes things interesting. Marquise Jackson picks up a home run. It'll be a solo shot, and that'll make it 11-7. They're not going away just yet, are the Chips, but they're still down to their final out.
Third home run of the season for Marquise Jackson.
Yeah, and made it to third on 2 previous at-bats, but couldn't come home. He, of course, was the man who couldn't quite get home on that first inning bang-bang play at the plate, which is really, that play really set the tone for the game, you feel like, where we've seen all sorts of wild things happen. That was the first of many. We've seen all number of crazy plays today. As Kelly looks to close things out here. It is a 4-run game. Navarra is 2 for 4 today with a couple of doubles. This one is high in the air. Adams is under it. Adams makes the play. Made it look a little bit more difficult. And that's a win for the Ohio Bobcats. They pick up a big one over Central Michigan in Game 2 of this 3-game set. And it is a victory for Ohio. And that'll set up a big-time rubber match tomorrow against this same Central Michigan team. It's an excited bunch of Bobcats on the field. Sam, What'd you think? And we finally got a chance to breathe in here after all the drama we saw today.
Yeah, final thoughts before we wrap up here quickly. Just a very impressive win from Ohio, top to bottom from the jump. Cole Williams, the star of the day out of the 7th spot with 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 3 hits. Ohio made a statement. They're picked 6th in this league, and I know it's early, but this is a team that if they can play like this, they can play and beat anybody in the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, Sam, I think you said it perfectly. They played just about as well as they could have offensively today. It was a number of different hitters who got the job done. Will Sturek with a couple of singles. A.J. Roush went 2 for 4 with a home run. Alex Finney with 2 hits, a single and a double. It was an all-around day from the Bobcats.
And they snapped a 7-game losing streak to Central Michigan.
That is exactly what they needed. So we will see what happens with them. They finally get one over on the Chips. So it is a big-time win. And that'll do it for our broadcast here. Thanks to everybody who helped put it together. Thank you, Jordan Bowes in the back putting things together. For Sam Hyman, I've been Ethan Sargent today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Final score from Athens, Central Michigan 7, Ohio 11. We'll see you tomorrow for the rubber match at 1 p.m.